One to be here. We are here with Richard. Hi, Richard.
Good afternoon, Xavier.
Well, afternoon, but I've noticed that there are some people from the United States in the chat and
Good
attending the
morning.
session. Well, really early
Good
morning for
morning.
them. Yeah, grab a coffee or two or three just to follow the session. I'm super excited to have you, Richard, and more excited even because it's the week that you launched a very powerful and rich piece of content, which is your annual report regarding the LinkedIn algorithm. So first, congratulations for this. It's a
Thank you.
huge work. I've seen that you have been working on this with your fellows more than 600 hours. Is it correct?
Yeah. We have a team of about 6 people, and they all spend about 100, maybe even more hours on doing the research. So, making the print screens, doing the reports in all the tools we used, and from there on, obviously creating the conclusions, which they brought to me. And then my task is to have a look at the conclusions and to try to build a report that is easy to implement, easy to read, easy to understand. And then it goes to the design agency, which has done also a great task, and they do the wrap up and they do the design. So
So
it has taken us about roughly 2.5 months from the start till the end.
wow. Wow. We'll discuss, of course, deep in the content in a few minutes, but let me welcome first all the attendees. For instance, Yeva, that we both know, Richard, because she's a member of our LinkedIn Expert Hub. Could you
Yes.
tell us a bit about this Just Connecting Hub? And when you do so, I'm going to ask every attendee to tell me where they are at the moment, because I know they are worldwide, but I don't know exactly where they are from. Hello, Sandrine. Hello, Rezul, also. Where are you at the moment located? Tell me in the chat. And Richard, could you just explain then what is the concept of this app you created a few months ago now? Well, the formal part of it. I
Yeah.
know, of course, the answer, but it's better if you introduce the app
Yeah.
because you are the founder of it.
Yeah. Well, I have been providing LinkedIn training and advice ever since 2009. I was located in Holland. In 2014, we had 12 employees, consultants, trainers, and then I decided to move to Spain early 2018. And suddenly I was on my own. This was a choice to just be on my own and to do my own trainings, my own consultancy. And because of the focus, we focus 100%, or I focus 100% on LinkedIn for sales and marketing. Because of this focus, and of course, also because of the pandemic that accelerated the virtual selling, remote selling, digital marketing process in a lot of companies, we got, or I got more and more international clients, such as Nestle, InterSystems, Pearson, a lot of very big companies. And then I realized that it would far better to start working with native trainers like you did with Legrand and Pearson in
Yeah,
France.
for instance, yeah.
So what I did, I gathered a team of experts around me that have specific knowledge that is complementary on my knowledge. So it can be a native language, but it can also be a marketing skill, marketing, advertising, recruitment. So currently we are with about 11 people,
Yeah.
where you are part of for the French market, French speaking market. And what we do, we provide training advice to international companies based on our own specialism, expertise. And we work together as a group to strengthen our knowledge and to create synergy. That's actually the idea of the hub.
Yeah, great. And we have other members of the hub in the chat. Hi to Jesse too. And there are people from worldwide. We have from Israel, Australia, the Netherlands, from Belgium, of course, from everywhere. That's amazing. Thank you to be there. The floor is also yours, so do not hesitate to ask any question. The chat is made for you. I have already one question, Richard, which is a very fundamental question. This is, why did you take this time to produce this piece of content? Why did you decide for the first time 3 years ago to go deep in the algorithm, to analyze it, and then because it's also another question, then publish the results and don't keep for the results for you or for your clients?
Yeah, that are two questions I get a lot.
Yeah,
Um, so first of all, as I said, I have been in training LinkedIn advice for many years. And I received a lot of questions from my clients about why does this post perform very well and why does this post does not perform while we think it even has better content. And probably everybody in this chat has the same experience. I can like write a blog for 3 hours on a piece of content I think that is very high quality, and then I get extremely disappointed with the results. And then I post like an idea I have in a split second. It will take me 2 minutes, and then it has like a massive impact. So this is what happened to me in 2017, 2018. So my own experience combined with the questions I got from clients, um, I started to wonder like, okay, we need to have some insights in the algorithm, not only for my own content, but also for my clients. And then I met a guy in Dutch Open University. He's a professor in statistics, marketing research, and he offered to me to have a team of students help me in doing this research. So this is what we did in 2019. So I provided them with all kind of questions. Back 3 years, it was only 25% of the questions we asked this year. If you know it, the first report was 12 pages, the second was
yeah, that's right.
26, and now we have 44. And this is how it all started. Um, Yesterday, I looked back to the post I made 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, I think I'm a user of Shield, so I can see my own statistics. So I looked back 2 years ago, and I received with the first report 240,000 views, which is massive on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
240,000 views. But at this time, I had a strategy that I made a post, and I said, if you want to have the algorithm, leave a comment and say, yes, I do. Okay. So I was like manipulating the algorithm because we all know if you get a lot of comments, your post will grow. So
Clickbaiting a bit.
clickbaiting a bit. The problem was that I hadn't expected at that time that within 3-4 hours, I got about 800 comments of people that say, I do, but I was not connected to them. So how do I going to send this research to them if I was not connected? Um, so on the one hand, we had a big result. On the other hand, it was very difficult to share. Then in the upcoming weeks after the release, I got a lot of questions. I got questions for interviews, for podcasts, but I also got some new clients that say, hey, our marketing team is looking for these insights. Can you provide a workshop? So then I realized that instead of gating the content, instead of putting it on the website and say, hey, you need to leave your details, I thought, okay, next year I'm just going to put it out there for free because the impact is like 20, 30, maybe 40 times bigger. And that is what I did last year. So last year we had the second research. I put it out there without anything, say, here it is, which resulted in a views 67,000. So only 1/3 of the first year because I didn't do
Okay.
the manipulation with the comment. Um, Again, it resulted in great visibility for me, for the company, a lot of interviews, podcasts, and also a lot of clients. So this year, I doubted because I received messages from people that say, I am willing to pay for this research. So I got a lot of advice from people that say, don't put it out for free, just sell it. Okay. But
Yeah, the
that would
value
be,
is huge. So
yeah,
probably
but
there are a lot of companies ready to pay for the results.
yeah. I even got from individual. I'd say I will pay you $1,000 if I can get research like upfront or before you publish or whatever. But that would be in contradiction with the trainings I give and you give, where we see if you have valuable content, put it out there, let your target audience take value from it, because in the end, that's how you build thought leadership, that's how you build authority, and this will make more people aware of your added value. So I stuck with my own strategy. I put it out for free. And we are currently at, I don't know, around 90,000 views. But as I told you in the beginning, before we went live, I received in the last 4 days 800 emails from people
Whoa.
that have
From Monday, you
questions.
mean?
Yeah, from Monday on,
From
800
Monday.
emails with regards to the LinkedIn algorithm research. People that want to copy it, people that want to share it within their company, people that want to make a summary, people that want to translate it. So the impact is huge.
Great. The visibility is huge, and the opportunity for us to speak with you about it is here. Do not hesitate to ask questions and to give feedback also in the chat. I'll give the question to Richard, of course. Richard, what is the main question you have been asked since Monday then about this report? Because you received a lot of comments, but also private messages and emails. But what is the main question still asked to you?
I think there are a few. One of the questions, of course, is about a research method, because a lot of people say, well, we don't know if your research is like based on enough data. And to be perfectly honest, that's why there is a disclaimer. I don't know. We
Mhm,
researched again more than last year. We researched about 6,000 posts.
mhm.
We had a help of more than 110 members that were willing to give their login credentials, so our team could log in and could make automatically print screens of their post every 15 minutes. Still, I don't know. There could be conclusions that maybe are not completely right, because there are a lot of different elements that impact the algorithm. If we are going to look, for example, how a post grows if it gets engagement, obviously the post itself, the mess is also important, and we cannot take that into account in our research because we don't know, where it's about. So there are some components that might influence it. I think the most important question is still for people. They have questions like, okay, I read your research, but how would you advise me to get more impact? How would you advise me to implement this research into my content strategy, being a staffing company, being a construction company, being a solopreneur aiming at, I don't know, copyright or design? So everybody is looking for ways to maximize the impact of their activities and content on LinkedIn. I think that are the most questions. And to be honest, I always give 4 tips if that's true. First, quality content. If you have shitty content, you can obey all the algorithm rules, but it will not work, because eventually it's your network, your community that's going to respond. And if you produce shitty content, it's not going to work. So if we talk about frequency, quality, I always go for quality. It's better to post once or twice a week than think that you need to post every day and the quality goes down. Second, very important, because still 2/3, 64% of the LinkedIn users are lurkers. They read, they click on links, they click on see more, but they won't engage. So dwell time is a very big impact. So have a look at what dwell time does. Think about creating a bit longer text post, and also the use of video, or for example, documents like the algorithm research itself is a stimulant for dwell time and a stimulant for the algorithm.
Could you
Um,
just, Richard, just tell people what the dwell time is exactly at the moment? Because I know there are a lot of people knowing it, but not all of them. So if you just can explain what the dwell time is.
Dwell time, it's actually very easy. So LinkedIn discovered about a year ago, March, April 2020, They did their own research and they discovered like almost 80% at that time was not posting or engaging, even more than 80%. And their algorithm previously was based on the like buttons, like, comment, share, and on clicks, engagements on your posts. So on links, videos, um, whatever you do. And they discovered so that the algorithm was actually based on only 12% of the community. So they implemented dwell time, and dwell time does actually three things. First, it measures how long people stay on your post in the screen, whether it's um, mobile or whether it's desktop, laptop. So you need to catch the attention. Then there is a very important call to action button. It's called the see more button. It's
Yeah,
usually put automatically by LinkedIn after the first three sentences. Okay.
yeah, that's
So
right.
if you create a post with two sentences or three sentences, you will miss the see more button. And the see more button is one of the most important signals to the algorithm that people are engaging because it proves that people want to continue reading your post.
And the impact is as strong as a like,
Even
even
more as a
better.
like,
Yeah,
even
okay,
more. Yeah, it's somewhere between two or three likes. What we
okay.
concluded. So you have a like, a comment is 7 times stronger, and a see more button is somewhere in between. Because as I told you, 64% will not click like of comment, but they will click see more if they want to see more of your post. So this is dwell time in a nutshell.
Yeah, and very linked to this, Marie-Françoise is asking, well, it's more a remark, the difficulties to find the good dwell time, not too long, not too short. Probably you can explain what the best length for a post is at the moment regarding your report.
Yeah, we well, as I said, based on the posts we analyze, I think there was a number of 1470 characters or something like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly
it's
this one. Yeah,
okay. So it's a bit longer than the limit we had until like I think it was April or May this year. In April, May this
correct.
year, they did increase the limit from 1300 to 3000. Okay.
That's right.
So it's a bit longer than that. I always in my trainings advise people have at least 8 sentences, at least eight. So three sentences, see more, and at least five.
Hmm.
I think again, it's a question of relevance. If you can keep the attention of your public in 3000 characters, they will keep reading. But if you think that in order to have a positive impact of dwell time, you need to write long posts, but you do not write relevant stuff, you do not write, people will get bored and they will continue scrolling. So it's more or less a combination of relevancy and length. But there are some tricks. For example, I see a lot of people, they post articles which are, for example, on their blog or website. And let me give you an example about the 4 trends in social selling. So they say, hey, we have this great blog. They know about dwell time. So they have like 7, 8 sentences and then they have the link. If you have such kind of content, please explain the 4 takeaways already in your post. Give people an insight in if they're going to click, what would be these 4 innovations? And per innovation, have 3 or 4 sentences. Because in this way, people first read your post, which is good for dwell time because they get like additional insights.
Yeah.
And if they want to see the complete article, they will click on your article and go to your website or to your presentation. So also with vacancies, if you post a vacancy, do not say we have this vacancy. See, no, explain the vacancy already in the post. So keep people attracted to your post.
Also because of the dwell time, I suppose, but also because putting a link in an external link in a post is most of the time not a good idea. If you can avoid it, you should. So,
Yeah.
but you have some tips and tricks maybe about this because we both know, and most of the people like to have a link in their posts even if they know that it's not the best idea in terms of content format on LinkedIn. But maybe you can, based on your report, tell us a bit about what the best practices are if you still want to put a link in a post.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do want to post a link because with a lot, especially with a lot of corporate organizations, they have the value on their website, and I think one of the traditional KPIs of marketing is to get traffic to the website. That's what they're there for. They need to attract people on social media and get them to the website. Um, if you have a look on LinkedIn, and funny enough, I was made aware by an American connection that LinkedIn did a statement in one of their webinars I think it was a few months ago, just before summer. They made a statement that the myth of getting less views if you post an external link was not true. So
Yeah,
LinkedIn
I've
was on
seen
the
it.
stage and they said it's not true, you get insane. Now I can tell you something. I believe a lot what LinkedIn is telling, but that is not true because I have a lot of people in my network, probably you as well. If you put out a link, for example, my own reach drops to about 15-20% of my normal reach.
Yeah.
On average, I reach about 15,000 people with a post. If I have a link, it will be somewhere around 3-4,000. So the stats are there. Um, Still, if I have a link, I put it in the original post. Okay, so I am not going to like update a post and then edit the post and then add the link, which is a way how you can trick the algorithm because the algorithm analyzes your post once you publish it for the first time. So in the past, especially the last year, we have seen a lot of people making a post, go to edit, include a link. I don't know for sure because obviously LinkedIn does not confirm this, but I think this might be the reason why now editing your post in the first hour has a decrease in views of 15%. I think LinkedIn is punishing the people for editing because they know people want to trick the algorithm. That's my guess.
Yeah.
The other way is to put your link in the first comment, which I always hated. I know why, because links in the comment are not seen by the algorithm. But then again, two disadvantages. If people copy your post, if they share it, the link is not there. So you share something where at the last sentence it says, have a look in the first comment, and there is no first comment. But if you create an engaging post, you will receive a lot of comments, and then people need to search for your link. The more effort they need to make to search for the link, the more people will stop looking for it. And in the end, you will receive more views, but less conversion to the link.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's true. You will receive more views, but less conversion because people simply don't find the link or don't care to look for it.
Yeah, because the link doesn't stay in the first position in the comments. That's also the case. Yeah, Jane totally agree with you, and she's asking. You were in the middle of four top tips:
Yeah.
quality of post, dwell time. Really keen to hear the two other. Sorry, Jane, I interrupted Richard, but I would also hear the last two top tips.
The third tip is timing. Timing. Very. Just try this for yourself. Okay. I always publish, as the research, I always publish between 8 and at the latest 11 in the morning.
Mhm.
The reason why is LinkedIn has more or less 2.5, maybe 3 hours to test your post. So what happens if you publish in the morning? There are a lot of people live on LinkedIn, a lot of people are online, so they are going to engage. And based on your engagement, LinkedIn is going to show your post to like more badges in your network and outside. If you do the same at let's say 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, in the first 2-3 hours you will get reach and engagement. But then just as LinkedIn is ready to launch the post, people go and have dinner, people go and do other activities in the evening, and by the morning, your post probably is being swept aside by new content that is published in the morning. So I always say publish in the morning, so it's about timing. And four is be active on your engagement. If you get engagement on your content, especially in the first 2-3 hours, reach out. If you get questions in the comments, answer. If you get compliments in the comments, say thank you. If you get any additional tips, say thank you. So this is very, very important because the keyword of the LinkedIn algorithm is interaction. And interaction means that both author and the person that comments are engaging on the post. So those were
Great.
the four tips.
Thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, there is a question about the availability of the report, and thanks to Laurent and Mick, the link is now in the chat too. If you don't find it, just go on Richard's profile. I'm sure he put it in the featured section of his profile. If not, you'll find it in the activity section, of course, of his profile, and in especially in the document part of the activity. Okay, is it true? Ask Nicole. Is it true that you should not share a post? Rather, create your own post and give the credit to the owner.
Yeah, so that's a question that is every year it comes back, because like the external link, if you have a look at your own statistics, you see that if you share a post yourself, you will get about, again, 10 to 50% of the regular amount of views. So it depends who needs to benefit from your share, because the original poster, for example, I posted the LinkedIn algorithm research. It has been shared over 200 times already. And this grows the visibility of my research. So for me as a poster, other people to share my post is a good thing. However, if you want to share something because you want to create impact with this, for example, you have a post on your company page and you want to share it as being an ambassador, it's not a good thing because you will only reach about 10 to 15% of your normal reach. Then I would prefer you to copy the paste, like literally copy and paste, put it on your own feed as it is your own post, or comment. Just comment on if you have anybody in your network that creates great content, whether it's your company, a colleague, or even a client, and you want to help him get more reach, you just comment. That's the best thing to do, and also the more time efficient. It's more time efficient than to copy the post and create your own post.
Great, and it's I can confirm that's a question that we have more and more year after year, because also companies have understood that the LinkedIn profile are really important to activate. So they do the what we call the employee advocacy to be sure that their employees could also publish content. But the easiest way to do it, but click on the share button, is not the best option at all. Okay, thank you very much. I would be very curious to know if you are in the chat. Tell me in the chat if you have already read the report of Richard. Just tell me yes or no in the chat so we know a bit more about you. And maybe if you did, if you just can give a short feedback about the report itself, maybe what surprised you the most. Do you have an opinion on the creator mode? Asks Laurent. That's a very important question, and I'm sure you have, Richard. And you have, based on statistics, we can find in your report.
Yeah. A lot of people, when I did some teasers, you've probably seen them. In the past week, I did some teasers. I put something on. And one of the teasers was about creator mode, where I said, creator mode does not positively impact your reach or engagement. That was all I did. So then a lot of people started asking questions, but yeah, what do you think of it? And then I said in the comments, I still have it enabled. Okay, I wouldn't have it enabled if it was not working. But a few things about creator mode. You can see the impact if you have it enabled at least for 2 months. So people that enable it and then after 2 weeks say it doesn't work, it's nonsense, because you will not see things happening in the first month. You need to have like a longer period of testing. Then it really depends on your goals of your LinkedIn usage. For example, I have this strategy that I want to have more reach and more engagement, more reach, more followers. Okay. So one of the things you probably know if you switch on creator mode is that your primary action button on your profile will be follow instead of connect.
Follow. Yeah. Yeah.
I have it on since I think it was May. So we talk
Mhm.
about, let's say, 4 months, and my follower base grew for 18,000 when I put it on to 25,000. So in 4 months, my network of followers increased with more than 30%. 7,000 people started to follow me. So for me, it's working, but I try to put out quality content at least 3 times a week. So this is the first criterion. If you do not provide content, if you don't have content that engages with your audience, don't do it. Okay? Because then you can better have the connect button, and people that are interested have a message to connect with you. So it's about what role plays the content in your strategy. If one of the goals of your content strategy is to get a lot of followers, to be seen as a thought leader, authority, I would definitely switch it on. A lot of salespeople, I advise switch it off or don't enable it, because you don't have enough content. People are not following you for your content. So then don't use it and stay with your connect button and with the profile you had before.
And so they also have a signal when someone is interested in their profile, but they should ask him to be connected or her to be connected, and it's a very strong signal for salespeople, of
Yeah, yeah,
course,
and
to start
yeah,
a discussion.
and even before creator mode, we already had the opportunity to switch the primary button from connect to follow. You can do
Yeah,
that in
that's
your
right.
settings.
Yeah.
But creator mode is more than that. It switches the content part of your profile is placed above your about section. So normally you have the about section and then your content. But if you
Yeah.
enable creator mode, the content is the first that people see. So it really emphasizes your content on your profile. You can have the 5 hashtags on top of your profile, which I think are worthless because they're not clickable.
Yeah, you're right. I still don't doesn't understand why.
No, so it's nice to have them, but they should be clickable. You know, people should click on my hashtag and see what I'm about. It's not possible yet. And of course, you have the cover story video, which I uploaded, 30 seconds. It's like a video introduction of yourself. I have no statistics if people look at it, because we cannot control the click behavior of
Yeah.
people. So I don't know if people really check out the cover story. It's good that on mobile, if you open a profile that has creator mode enabled, that you see the first 3 seconds of a video. So they make you aware there is video content on the profile.
To summarize, would you say that if you publish at least 2 or 3 posts with high value in it a week, you should switch on the creator mode?
Well, you definitely should try. You definitely should enable it and try it for at least 2 months and find out for yourself, and then make a judgment based on the benefit you have seen and the disadvantages.
Mhm. What about the rhythm itself? A question from Romain Bellet, and you should also, if you want, ask a question to Richard, do the same. So in the chat, please ask your question. A lot of people believe that posting 2 times a day is a bad idea. 2 times a day, not a week. Do you have data on this one?
Yeah, there is a sheet. I don't know which page, but there is a sheet on timing where we say, and we have found it, that if you post multiple times a day, so 2 times already, but also if you post, for example, 3 times a day, it's actually, and I think Romain said it himself in the chat, it's like cannibalizing your own reach.
Of the first post or on both posts?
Well, this is a really interesting test. I did it once. I posted in the morning. It was a really fair, engaging post. Then I made a post at 1 o'clock. So the first was at 9, the second was at 1 o'clock. So 4 are in between. The second does not take off as fast as the morning post, and your morning post is being slowed down. So both have a negative impact. Then I posted again at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That was my third post within 8 hours. This was my all-time lowest record in 3 years. That post got 150 views. 150, my third post. The second stopped immediately, and the first was slowed down. So yeah, I think in the sheet is about you cannibalize 60% of your reach by posting multiple times a day. interesting enough, if you post in the morning, you can give up to 30, 40 relevant comments on other people's posts without harming your own reach. So I always train people and say, okay, there is actually like two things you need to do in a day. Get your content out in the morning, and for the rest of the day, try to provide at least 10 relevant comments on relevant discussions. This will boost your visibility.
Okay. Would you also have found a conclusion about the time between two posts, the ideal time between two posts? Is it one day, 2 days, even more? We have seen that the posts are living for longer than ever this year.
Yep. Um, Well, maybe I have a great example. So what I do, if I put out in my opinion, a great piece of content, if I see the engagement, if I see the views, I normally wait 2 or 3 days before I post anything new. So I really wait because I want to have profit optimally from the engagement and views I get. This year, I published on Monday the research. And yesterday morning, I published a story about my dad, rather a personal post. And it was a post I was wanted to make already a long time. I visited my dad last month in Holland. I haven't seen him for a few months. So I wanted to make this post, but have a look at my timeline, what's happening. So it almost stopped the algorithm. For example, Thursday morning, I had 66,000 views. Now I'm on 69. So only 3,000 views in 2 days. Okay, so it really stopped. But the post about my dad is now on 260,000 views. And this even for me is a surprise.
Amazing.
So yeah, even for me, I do a lot of research in the algorithm. I test a lot with my own content strategy, but even that is a surprise. So that brings me to another conclusion where I would say use the algorithm research as guidelines, but stay authentic and personal in your postings, because there is no way an algorithm can keep quality content or engaging content away from your target audience. If you have a piece of content where people relate to, where people respond to, there is no way, even with an external link or with a YouTube video, there's no way LinkedIn can prevent your audience from growing and growing until you reach like really cool numbers.
Yeah, and it's the first sentence in your report: quality content, add value, be authentic. That's the main conclusion, I think. For the
Yeah,
rest, it's
definitely.
optimization of the content, of course, to adapt to the algorithm. But the first thing to think about is really quality content. Be authentic. Be empathetic also with your targets. Be sure to create value for them and be in a discussion mode. This is also a very interesting remark from Romain again. The other hardest part, sorry, is to get enough content to create. But thanks for the answer he tells us. But that's right, Richard. Most of the people ask, how do you deal with so many people to create? Any tip about this? How to?
Of course, there are a lot of tips if you start speaking about an individual content strategy. First of
Mhm,
all, don't try to please your complete network, because it's not possible.
mhm.
I have a lot of people that say, no, I'm not going to post this personal stuff because I have a lot of people that are not waiting for this kind of content. If we start asking ourselves how many people are going to like it, you will put yourself directly in a writer's block. You will not post anything because you cannot be relevant for your complete network. Okay. So just be sure that if you create a post which is about your expertise, your industry, you will get engagement from this part of your network. And if you create a personal post, you get engagement from this part of your network. Okay. So don't try to be relevant for everybody, it's impossible. Second, you have content that you create yourself, which, for example, the algorithm research is something extraordinary because it takes a lot. But I have at least once, maybe twice a week, a post on my profile, which is about uh, LinkedIn tips, social selling tips. I created content myself, which takes obviously a lot of time. But also sometimes I just see an interesting article written by somebody else. It's just a very good article. And then I just go to the website, copy the link, put it on my LinkedIn, and then I'm just going to add my additional insights. So I use third party content, which already has been created, and put it on my profile, explain my network why I'm sharing this, and give some additional insights. Um, in my trainings, I always refer to the mailman. Okay, you don't need to be the journalist, but you can be the mailman. Let other people create valuable content, and you just be the mailman and say to people, "Hey, if you follow me, I will provide you with all the important content in your industry or in your business."
Yeah, this is what also we call the curation, which is a selection of third-party content that you can add value on it a bit, but you don't have to produce every single piece of content, of course.
Exactly.
Thank you to Cecile who answers, also to Romain. We have a LinkedIn user telling us this discussion is a view of gold and appreciated. Thank you, Richard and Xavier. Uh, Thank you very much to you. That's key, to be authentic. We are almost out of time here, so do not
There is
hesitate
a
to.
very interesting one. Very
Yeah,
interesting one
have you
from
seen
Ulrich.
it?
Yeah, Ulrich.
Ulrich, yeah,
Posting
posting
personal
personal
stuff will
stuff.
not
Yeah.
boost the fake Facebookization of LinkedIn. I have a lot of
Yeah, he already
salespeople.
asked me this question. Thank you, Ulrich, to re-ask this.
Yeah, I have a lot of people, especially the more traditional salespeople or traditional marketing people in my trainings. Maybe you have encountered the same, Xavier. They become very nervous if I show them the post about my dad,
Mm.
or if I show them the post about my shelter dog or whatsoever. They go like, whoa, 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 this is not Facebook. Okay. I have one question for everybody who has a commercial role. If you have an intake with a new client, okay, so you are going to meet your new client for the first time, whether it's in their office or whether it's online. What are you going to do in the first 2, 3, 4 minutes of the talk? There is no one that starts, "Hi Xavier, my name is Richard. Today I'm going to talk about my training, so let's have a look into the training." No. I say, "Hi Xavier, how's life in Belgium? How's life? Where did you spend your summer?" So you have the regular chit chat in order to get a connection. And every
Icebreakers, you say?
yeah, and every salesperson understands. They go like, "Yeah, yeah, we do that. We try to connect," and you don't connect in a business. You connect from person to person. So what surprises me is that when we do that on LinkedIn, well, that's what I'm doing. If I put out a post about my dad, it's first I want to get it out. I want to share this with my network. But second, I got on the post of my dad more than 50 comments from clients and even prospects that were in the same situation or recognize the situation. So you became human. Instead of Richard, the social selling guy, you became Richard, the guy who's looking after his dad. And don't underestimate the value of these kind of posts. Of course, everybody sets his own boundaries. If you do not want to talk about your family, you don't. Be authentic and do the postings that belong or that suits you. But please let us stop about the Facebookization of LinkedIn. It's not true. People do business with people. Personal content is the most engaging content on LinkedIn. Try it for yourself. Stay away from religion, stay away from politics. But if you have genuine, authentic, personal content, try it for yourself because it's a people's network.
It's also a question of mix, meaning that, of course, if you only post like you did yesterday about your dad, you won't really bring value and etc. But
No,
if it's a
no,
mix, if you have between two very expertise posts, this kind of post, that's no problem, even better because it humanizes you.
exactly. It's a dynamic. It's a dynamity of your content strategy that creates the buzz, that creates awareness. Also, I saw a question about polls.
Yeah,
Also,
that
if
was
you
my
create,
next and
if
last question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you create posts with a lot of engagement, a lot of views, like my dad post, but also like polls, it's like LinkedIn gives you some credits in the algorithm, which means if you make your next post again about your business, you will get more reach in your first batch based upon your previous post. Well, LinkedIn saw, hey, this guy has created a lot of reach, a lot of engagement, so we give him some extra credit for his next post. So that's why polls are interesting, well, if they're relevant, or why, for example, personal content can be relevant because it will also build your audience and it increases your engagement on your next post.
you mean the impact of it is also on the next post you'll do.
Exactly, exactly. With regards to polls, I think LinkedIn exaggerates with polls in the timeline. There are way too many.
Totally agree.
And I see polls where people ask, okay, I just get up, which shoe do I put on first, left or right? Those kind of polls. One tip: don't respond. Don't respond. Don't comment. Don't choose. Don't put in the comments, this is a ridiculous poll, because as a result, LinkedIn will show you more polls. Okay. My bet is that as from the start of 2022, we will see less polls and less polls. It's a feature they are boosting now because apparently in the near future, we can also create a sponsored poll with a lead generation form. So they're now boosting the polls so people get acquainted, and then they're going to monetize this new feature.
Yeah, and they are trying to monetize other features like events in the next few months. Probably they are working on it. 45 minutes is too short. Great talk, says Didrik. Hi, Didrik. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance. That's great. I'm sure Richard is open to answer some few more questions. Do not hesitate to send a DM to Richard to visit his website, to send an email if you have also proposals. The report is on his profile, once again, also on mine, because this is gold for LinkedIn aficionados like we are both, Richard. Thank you again, Richard, to be with us during this lunch time. We'll
Thank you
do
for having
another
me.
live with Isabelle Canivet. You probably don't know Isabelle. She's an expert in the copywriting and the SEO. On next Tuesday, I'll receive her. It's going to be in French. So I know you speak French, Richard, a bit.
Aucun problème.
Thank you very much. See you soon. Bye bye to everyone. Bye.
Bye bye.